Hi class, I wanted to give you some video feedback. You'll take this and you will make your edits for your final. It's a good idea to go ahead and duplicate your site and then make changes on that. It's okay if you've gone ahead and haven't done that, but that's one way to practice. Here, nice work. We've got a very basic, clean site, easy to navigate, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm going through, trying to find the functionality, layout, anything that might trip up a user when they're visiting your site. All right. Okay. And that's linked up. Contrast is great. We've got your descriptions here. And you might want a little more on these, not in this location. I guess it's enough to have these. Okay. Yeah, you want it to be with the work, I think. This has a little bit of extra kerning between the letters. It's not a big deal, but you might watch for that. This is looking a little orange. Again, not everybody's going to notice that, but if it's not a big deal, you might want to make a quick image adjustment on that so it's just not quite so orange. Easy to read, all good. You can make your column wider if you want that to go up here. If you're going for an upside down pyramid, that's okay too. It is going to depend. And I leave, this particular one doesn't have a get feedback link when it's in Wix Studio, so the reflowing will be different. You'll want to make sure it's breaking in the right places, checking your phone so that we don't have any wrapping issues. Okay, but everything is there. Looks great, functioning well. Nice work. Okay, starting with the mobile, just so I can get a quick overview. Be sure to update the copyright date down here, and definitely watch the reflowing and delete the cart. Sometimes when we have the Facebook and Instagram icons in the header like this, and especially a search function, it can get in the way when you have your mobile view, and we know that that's where a lot of people are going to be going. So let's delete the search and the shopping bag. Okay. You do want consistent spacing. Somehow this doesn't bother me so much, but usually you do want it consistent. You want to remove any background images that are getting in the way of your text. Anything that is on the front layer is going to be the priority, and so anything behind it needs to recede. Good image. You might be able to reduce that content there. Okay. So this should probably be blurred in the background also. I like the image. And you need to have a form on this page. Okay. So yeah, these are going to come out. Let's raise this content, and this will come up too. Your navigation will come up when you take out these things. I would put this in your footer. Okay. Ordinarily you have these the same, but because this is a vertical, I'm okay with that because your spacing is still consistent. I do like this image. I think we need to remove it on your mobile, and we want to make sure that this is going to reflow correctly. It's okay when I'm full screen. Bring it up a little bit so we get into the content. I feel like if you're going to use these frames, these borders, you might pick up a color here. It almost picks up this color, but I feel like you've got more blues going on. It's not a big deal. It's just something to notice. And you'll want to make sure that isn't overlapping. But we talked about this image already, so you will need a form there. But all in all, really great looking site. Just some tweaks here and there. Okay, well done. All right, we're going to do the same thing here and take out the search. We want to drag the content. Actually, you can just take this feedback off. I'm going to rewrite those instructions, or at least add a note. Some students think that the feedback, because they haven't used it before, the Get Feedback link, they think that it has to do with feedback for the client and that, or for the user, and that's not what it's for. The Get Feedback link is what we send to our client to give us feedback on how we're building the site. And they have actually this very recently changed the name to get client feedback. So apparently it's not an uncommon confusion that they're having. So you won't even need this page. You can just delete it, and this will be in the right, your contact will be in the correct place automatically. Make sure we're using Google numbers so that we're not putting our personal cell numbers out there. Okay, good job linking up. Let's extend this column here so that it doesn't line break. And what we want to do, as much as I love this photo, unless you took it, we want to avoid those shots. And if you didn't take it, maybe you did, in which case, awesome. But if it's something you like, reproduce it. Okay, if it's inspired you that much. But what we really need is to have your form and your contact information. So they want to get to that quickly and without scrolling. Okay. Interesting. I'm thinking that's yours. Okay, if I select photography, what happens? Good. Okay. The water splash, let's try one of those instead of three. I know to us we see the difference, it's a very big difference, but to a site visitor, it looks like it's a duplicate. So choose the best, possibly this one, and you won't need to have quite so many. This actually probably could go smaller, just the resolution isn't quite there. You know, cool photo, but that's my concern. This is a good image for you. It shows the whole setup. I like that. But do rename your files. Okay? And search engines will look for images and what they're named. Okay, again, we just want to get into the content a little bit quicker. Okay. So ask yourself why you're drawn to something if you leave it there, and that's kind of gives you an idea of your direction and where you should go. So either when I click this, it's either not linked to a page, or the page has very large files and it's loading very slowly. I'm thinking by now it's not linked, so you want to take that button out. And it's not about, since it's not about you, as I'm visiting, I'm going to read this as that it's going to be directed towards me as the site visitor. You're just going to say about, you could say about me, but when you write, you want it to be, you know, less about us and more about what we can do for them. if there is a way, I'm going to leave it, but do remove this, I think. Come in here, you can say about here in a heading, and yeah, if this comes out, and this is, when you take this out, this is going to be not quite as deep, and that's going to be good. So that's going to get you to here, and if you can get to where they can see without scrolling where it says about, then it's going to be easier for them to understand where they are. And this is going to go. So you don't have to have a home page. So I would just go into your pages and menu and delete the home and delete the feedback, and you'll be good. All right. Okay. Yeah, we're going to take that page out. You're going to take that out. Somewhere over here probably is your navigation. So you need to take that out, and it may be white. I don't know. But because I can't see it, I'm guessing it's white, but it might be fine when this is removed, the white on black with those bars, but double check that. You're going to remove all that space. Well, you're going to remove, let's see, where are we? Okay, this is the about. Yeah, a lot of scrolling. You've got to close up that gap in your mobile for sure after you make your desktop corrections. And I probably wouldn't use this as a portfolio piece. I think it's good if you were to use it, if you ever needed it as a background or parts of it as a background to blur in the back. But I'm just glad you're collecting pieces like this because they're useful for your site, but they're not really a portfolio piece. This, I'm not sure what that was. So double check that. And just get into your contact like this, okay? All right. Yeah, we need it to, rather than an extra click to get to your work, we just want this could just be your portfolio page, okay? So that means linking in your navigation to that other page and taking these out. Okay, so just a couple of sweeping changes are going to make a huge difference. Some small changes are going to have a big impact. All right, well done. Okay, Abel. Okay, nice. We won't need this twice. Make sure you really want to give your number out there. Okay. A little bit of space there. The logo looks good. Can't read it completely at this size, but the overall looks good. I know it's up here. We try not to have a single word by itself on a line. And let's see. We did talk about having, mentioning what you actually do. So rather than in your header, rather than having a slogan, making sure that it's talking about, exactly what you're doing. So a health and fitness program, remember? So fitness program is something you want to have in your header. It's also something that users are not going to go to their search engine and put in Unleash Your Best Self, right? And if they're looking for you and they haven't been to your site yet, they're not going to use the name either. So, but they may use fitness program. Okay. But I love the colors. Everything is laid out really well. Very easy to read. All good. Okay. Good. Just really minor things. I know you have it here, and that's great, but I think you want it in your header. Navigation and internal links are another place where search engines will crawl and pull your site up if it is what they're searching for. I don't know if you need that, the word and. Okay, so where this is fine here, it's just on the mobile layout that it gets a little stacked. Okay, let's see. I'm guessing that this is AI. Of course it is. Good job. Good job. You may want to, if you can, bring these up just a little, just not so much that as here's some space there. Not much. I'd leave that to your discretion. You're doing a pretty good job with your layout. Keep those things consistent where you can. Okay. All right. Looking great. Everything's linked up and functioning, landing where it should. Well done. Just that one thing about adding what you actually are doing. So that's for this group. And like I said, you want to go ahead and put your edits into your final draft, or your final submission. You may need a little more drop shadow or a way to drop this back a little because it is getting lost there. I can see this taking a second iteration down the road. But overall, it feels great. But for readability, you probably are going to have to do something like, I don't know, put a silver bar of some sort, gear, meaningful, or something dark. All right. Well done. Great job. All right, everybody. I look forward to seeing these at the end of the week, I think. And then you'll have your accessibility. You also have your peer review. And so when you do that, that is something that doesn't have a late submission because your peers are waiting for your feedback. And it's a discussion, an actual discussion board format. That means that if you paste anything into the feedback section, your peers aren't going to see that. Okay, so it will close. So be sure you give them that so that they can also use that to make their edits. All right, they love getting your feedback too. All right, great job, everybody.